Hello and welcome to a tutorial on how to make a replica brick. This is using insulation foam, which you can get in big sheets for £6 from B&Q. So it's easy to get hold of, it's a very versatile material, it's what I made the hunting rifle with. So you'll need a bit of that, and then you'll need paints. Your main paint that you'll use is called raw sienna, and that's what you use for this. You'll also need something lighter and darker just to give it a bit of texture. And you'll need a certain drill bit, which I'll show you in the video. So it's really easy, you can do it in an afternoon, and it's con safe, which is always good. So we'll launch straight into the tutorial, and I hope you enjoy. So the first step that you're going to do is you're going to cut the shape out of your foam. So you want 9 centimetres across and then 18.5 lengthways. And then the height of it is just going to be the height of the foam. So cut that out. Don't have to be too even because you're going to rough it up a little bit, but get it to a good sort of shape. And then if you'd like, you can go over it with some sandpaper. It's quite a rough one, and I'll finish it up with a smaller one. So just on the edges, might be a little bit rough where you've cut it, or if it's on the edge of the foam, so just sand it down a little bit. So get it until it's mostly smooth. You can use some sort of brush just to get most of the dust off. So if you want a nice clean brick shape, there you go. But if you're wanting it to look like it's being battered and it's been lying around a bit, you can take the rough one and just sort of rough it up on the edges. If you hold it at an angle, so it goes in at that sort of angle, and just create some sort of little notches down there. You can see, makes it look like it's a bit roughed up. So try and do it as random as possible, so it don't look like you've gone and done it yourself. So it just looks like it's a bit more realistic and it's been a bit battered over years. Now that you've gotten most of the dust off your brick, it's time to drill some holes in it. So you want this sort of drill bit, where there's a drill bit going in the inside, and then this will cut a bigger circle. I can't remember exactly what they're called, but it's 27mm wide. I'm going to have to do this in 2 drills. I'm going to have to drill through the top, and hopefully the tip of this will be pointing out the bottom, or I can flip it over and drill through the bottom. So, depending on how many you want in here, I'm going to do 3 holes today, but you can do more. Some of them have up to 8 holes. But I'm just going to do the ones with 3. So I'll show you what I mean. Line it with the middle, and then drill straight down. So try and go slowly with it as well. And it's not quite come through, but I can see where it's just about to come through. So that's where it almost came through, so I can line up the drill bit with there and go straight down. And again, go slowly. Until you feel it disconnect, and then you can just bring it all out like this and then pull it out. So throw that away, you don't need that. So you're going to want to do 2 holes, 1 on either side, in the middle of those. Same as you did before. Drill down, flip it over, find out where your other holes are going to be, drill down until it disconnects, and then take that bit out. You've got your 3 holes, but it's very messy on the inside. Now I found the best thing to do is just get your finger, press it down, and rub it. So, looks a little bit weird, but it smooths out the inside. Okay, and then just do that until it's smooth on the inside and you're happy with it. Then you can move on to the next step. First of all, I've sprayed it with clear lacquer. And then next I sprayed it with grey primer, so the paint sticks to it a little easier. Then after the primer I put on copper paint. That's so that if there's any dots which I miss with the actual paint, especially on the insides of the holes, it means that they're not grey, they'll be this copper colour, which is close to the red brick. Alright, so now it's actually time to paint it a little bit. I'm pretty much going to cover most of this, well all of this, in that, and then do some different colour gradients. Alright, so it's kind of difficult to get in these little holes, so that's why I've put the copper paint in. So I'm going to start off painting this. I'm going to get inside first and get as much as that as I can. So I've got the insides now, and then what I'm going to do is just paint all the rest of it and leave it to dry. So now that's all nice and dry. It looks quite good as it does, but if you want an extra bit of detail, you want to mix that burnt sienna that you use for the most of it and mix it with like a darker brown or a grey, and add a little bit so it gives it enough colour variation to stand out a little bit but not too much. So I'll mix them together. Now you're not going to need quite as much with this one because I'm not coating it, I'm just going to be doing a little bit of light brushing over just to bring out a bit of texture but not enough to cover it. So this is a nice little bit of contrast to that. And what you want to do is get most of it off your brush. So I've just got a little bit left on the tips, which I can swipe off, and then lightly go over it, just brush it up and down. So you might not be able to tell on camera, but where it's shining a bit, that's where the new paint is. So you can see it's not all over, and you can see through to the other side, to the other paint. It gives it just a bit of texture on there. So I'm going to do that on all sides, makes it look like it's a bit more worn, like it's got muck on. So again, where it's shining, that's where the new paint is. So if I leave that to dry, it'll give it a little bit of colour variation. Now what I can do on top of that is mix in a different colour of brown and then a different colour of brown on top of that. So it gives it a few different layers, looks like it has grains, and it'll look a bit better. So do as many different colours as you like until you're happy with it. So another thing that you could do is make a lighter colour, so mix it with a red or a white. And again, dab most of it off. Instead of brushing it, you can just sort of like press it on a little bit. If you just press it on till it creates a little dabbly effect like that. And then instead of making it look like muck, this will look a bit like it's been scratched off and the fresh brick is showing up a bit. Now this one's especially good to do on the edge where it's going to be broken off, where it looks like it's broken off. So there we go. So with a little bit of light paint and darker paints, you can make it look way more realistic. This is very light, it looks good, and it's safe for conventions. So you've got nothing to worry about. But that ends this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you for the next one. Bye. So here are a couple of tutorials which you might like. There's the hunting rifle from The Last of Us and Mentat from Fallout 3. So okay, so it's